My name is Lori Paris, and welcome to She Life. My mother, Catherine Smith Gatormson, whose mother is Catherine Victoria Smith, whose mother is Nancy Smith, whose mother is Marion Mackenzie, named me Lori Jean. I knew only two of these four women, but I carry their blood in my veins and their memories in my bones. May I speak our collective truth in a way that makes good change in a world that needs great change. The time has come for you and I to take our rightful sacred place in a culture that denies it. This is my story and journey to uncover the truth that supports my right to do just that, no matter the cost. I hope you decide you deserve that sacred place too.
All
Hi,
right.
everyone, and welcome to She Life. Today I'm joined by Rodney McLeod. Rodney is a member of Frog Lake First Nation, a graduate of Native Studies at the University of Alberta, and a cast member of the Indigenous musical Bear Grease. He's also one of the co-creators of a film project called Ochagach, which focuses on a real 18th century Cree cartographer and trailblazer whose role in Canadian history has largely been overlooked. Rodney and I first met in Thunder Bay when he and scholar Louis Buff Perry came to speak with potential investors for the film Ochagach. At the time, my business, the Hub Bazaar, was the lead sponsor, supporting their research trip to Thunder Bay and the surrounding Anishinaabe territory. Like many projects, the film was later put on hold during the pandemic, but the research and conversation behind it are still really relevant. Today, we're talking about Rodney's path, his work, and what gets missed when Indigenous voices aren't centered in our history. Hi, Rodney. Welcome to She Life.
Thank you so much, Lori, for everything you do for our community and our people, and just the Thunder Bay area people and Indigenous people, and everything you've done and continue to do. So I'm so very grateful for you, Lori.
Well, it's my pleasure. As you know, the Indigenous people have my heart because it was an Indigenous medicine man who doctored me and healed me of my alcoholism. Although I still went to AA and Women for Sobriety, that healing came there, and I have not drank since that day. And
Yeah.
I was just on another interview with a gal named Jenna Thompson, and I said it took me 15 years to tell that story in an AA meeting. So but that's my truth, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Anyway, let's get going. Can you share uh, where you're from and a bit about how you grew up?
Yeah, definitely. I am from Frog Lake First Nations. My dad's a Southern Ontario Scotsman. I was born in Kitchener, Waterloo, and then my parents brought me out to Alberta. We lived on the res for a bit, and then they wanted to move us off the res, so they brought us out to Abbotsford, BC,
Mhm.
where I was raised for about 15 to 20 years of my life, my early childhood and youth and teenage years. I did my high school there, and then I ended up coming up to Edmonton to start my degree in Native Studies. Political science was my minor. And then I met Buff Perry, Louis Buff Perry,
Mhm.
and he was a chief researcher for Treaty 6 medicine chest cloths. And I was doing some research at the university and started doing some research around the medicine chest cloths at the uh, archives in the library archives in Ottawa.
What is the
And
medicine chest clause for our viewers if they don't know what it is?
right, so the medicine chest clause, when Big Bear was negotiating with the colonial settlers, he wanted to make sure that there was a literal medicine chest in for people to have access to for our medicines and also the white medicines, which were kind of it was definitely a conglomeration because they did appropriate so much indigenous medicines and then claim it for their own.
Hmm.
Definitely, that would be shown with aspirin, with the white, right, the Russian willow
Hmm.
that they use. But yeah, so we uh, got to do some exploring with all that, and I met, like I said, I met Buff and just exposed to my culture and ceremonial way of life, and to our our ceremonies in Frog Lake and all our surrounding Indigenous people, Treaty 6, 7, and 8, here in Alberta.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so just a lot of ceremony and culture with our people, a lot of powwows, but a lot of our sweats and the rest of our ceremonies that I haven't even got to really touch on
So what
how
else
deep.
in the Native Studies program at the University of Alberta? And that's where you met Louis Buff Perry. And, I also know Louis Buff Perry. I met him
Right.
when I was researching about the mystery of Rennes Chateau. And Buff is, he's Buff to his friends. And Buff is, I do quote Buff in the book. He wrote a really amazing paper called Rachel Resurrects It, or Rachel Resurrected. Brilliant mind, brilliant mind, and put that man with a bottle of wine and a good prime rib roast in front of him, and he's an
Mhm.
amazing dinner guest. Um, anyway, so what other things did you study within Native Studies at the University of Alberta?
Yeah, so I got into a master's program
Mm-hmm.
in the Indigenous Peoples Education program after getting the degree. Uh, Again, getting into the openness of just like the pre-colonial history with Buff.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of anomalies, right? We got Ochagach, we got there's so many anomalies that he's been uncovering, writing on stone
Yeah.
in southern Alberta, and we got Chief Joseph with his medicine uh, bag that he had a cuneiform tablet that was
Yes.
been yeah, vetted to 2,500 years old. So we got Chief Joseph with a cuneiform tablet that he had the oral tradition behind it saying where it came from, which was very mysterious. Why does this chief have a cuneiform tablet that's been vetted and they came from, the people from across the sea?
Mm-hmm.
If nobody understands what cuneiform is, it's like one of the most ancient writing systems in the world. So he has the oral tradition saying, it came from the people across the sea, and it's been in my family for several generations. So what's he
Wow.
doing with this cuneiform tablet that he holds so sacred to hold in his medicine chest closet? So yeah, in 1877, General Miles either apprehended him, taken it from him, or else Chief Joseph was here. This is what
Okay.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sitting in West Point Military Academy right now. It belongs to the Nez Perce. So yeah, Indigenous youth and uh, the new generation of Indigenous people are going to be getting our medicines back with everything that the the Vatican, everybody who wants to take and claim all our Indigenous artifacts, we will be coming for them,
Well,
definitely.
don't let me get started on the Vatican.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No.
But
And I'm so
before we
grateful.
get into talking about Ochagach, which the story you're telling us is really important to that project, I want to just ask you, I want to know at what point did you realize that that the history you were being taught didn't fully reflect the indigenous experience?
Like it didn't reflect, yeah, the whole
Yeah.
indigenous experience because,
When did you start thinking, something's missing here? Like
yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
this
Because,
was left out, or what? Like, and that brings us into, who's heard of Ochagach, right?
right,
And this and giving indigenous people the respect they deserve for being highly intelligent, highly skilled, and highly educated themselves, right?
Right.
So what was kind of your first, like, aha moment? Like, that's not right. Can you
Yeah,
remember?
good question.
Yeah.
Uh, it's definitely doing all the studies with Buff because seeing the bigger picture, right? And then even going into like the colonial history of Europe, right?
Okay.
Where were they brought off track? Where were they separated from their spiritual connection to the land, to the cosmos, right? The 5,000 years of cognitive dissonance, thinking, you're the new birth giver, as like the male, you know, uh, just deeper into that history of no, we weren't just brought up 5,000 years ago. We weren't just out of me 5,000 years ago, you know. That's where they disconnected their spiritual connection to the land and cosmos, thinking the man's the center of the universe or
Yeah.
center of this world.
Well, your dad, who's of Scottish descent, which my fam, and I've met your dad. He came to Thunder
Yes,
Bay.
thank you,
He was
Lori.
he was carrying the staff, and he came at a really rough time for me. I was running for election, I think, and I was not welcome to do that. And I had my opponents to that were sending inspectors to my door on a every few day basis. And I thought your dad was an inspector, you know. And when he came to the door, I was like, well, if you come to inspect, and he goes, sister, calm down. I'm a friend. Right. And he just healed me in our conversation. He stayed for lunch. He brought me and he showed me the staff, and he just centered me again. Like, don't let them get to you, girl. Right. But he'd be able to tell you about the where it was in his ancestors that you know that was destroyed. That was destroyed because the
Right,
women in Scotland and Ireland and in those places had a wonderful earth-based goddess-led religion.
right.
And if I have my way, we will have it again, or we will definitely be on our way to that before I hit the you know get buried under this earth. So
Mm,
anyway, that can be found there, and one of my goals is for that healing to happen within my community, my culture, so that we can reach out and lend, not oppress, not take, blend,
right,
right? Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, let's do this. Like, who was Ochagach, and why did you and Buff Perry want to tell this story?
Yeah, so Ochagach, he's the native map maker.
Mhm.
He was the bigger picture explorer. So there's always intercontinental trade, pre-colonial contact, right? There's always travel. And Ochagach was like the star, literally his name is Little Spirit. Little Spirit translates into, a little star,
Mhm.
you know. So he was, or she, you know, one of he was known as a male,
Mhm.
but he would also took on that indigenous mindset, you know,
Mhm.
that didn't separate too deeply from the female spiritual realm.
Mhm.
So highly intellectual, highly aware of the bigger picture, human trade, and cultural, spiritual, intellectual, uh, bigger picture, uh, just like human mindset.
So what role did indigenous guides and cartographers play in early exploration that people often don't hear about? What did he do?
Right. Yeah. So in when La Vérendrye, the French explorers, when they're coming west, they're always looking for the passage to the west, right? How
Mhm.
do we get to the west? So Ochagach, he already had the knowledge of where he's going and what's going on. And there's always been prophecies of, we have had a Cree prophecy stone in this area. And we've had, like I said, the writing on stone. We've had all this knowledge, all this information, and we have like our Indigenous Slavics have correlations to polymyrene, to Basque, to ancient Hebrew, to there's just the bigger picture intercontinental connection that Ochagach had. So he was aware, of what was going on in the West because of, all the travel. We always had our oral traditions of saying, who went where, what we're doing, the bigger picture purpose of humanity.
Getting back to the Cree prophecy stone, now Louis Buff Perry, in that same paper, Rachel resurrects it, speaks about the Cree prophecy stone, and he believes he found where it may have been hidden in the hoodoos,
Right.
and where it traveled after that. So do you have any knowledge of that and what Buff was referring to?
Yeah, yeah. Buff likes to speak about it quite often.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's definitely a mystery, because the secret societies
Yeah, yeah.
and these people who like to hide you know our history, so they could continue to manipulate and make us think in divided ways.
Well, and
But
then control a story
right,
and then control power.
right,
Right. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah. So does anybody, does nobody really knows where the Cree prophecy stone is at this time?
right, right. At the time, no,
Yeah.
uh, and the stories, have gone underground, and now the areas are protected.
Yeah.
And writing on stone, one of the areas that Buff discovered, one of the sheets were actually taken, right. The stone was literally taken out of there
Wow.
after he was recognized as discovering it. So
So when he
yeah,
went and he does travel to the hoodoos, he finds that it was a Tartarian script on the hoodoo, and sees a place where supposedly he refers to the Cree prophecy stone as the pillow stone. But like you say, that's just his research and what he thinks it may be. Um, uh, there was that script. So you're saying they went and took that script? Like,
it is a literal stone, like
wow.
a sheet. So whatever, like that, it's like uh, tons. It's tons. So you had to get like a machinery to come in, or else chip away at it and take it piece by piece. But
Who do we know who
that's how.
took it, or just it was gone?
No, they don't know that someone
Right? Oh
stole it.
my
Like,
goodness.
so like that's how bad they want to erase history. That's
I
how
never
bad.
knew that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah, and he had a cartography award, and he has a picture of it, and
yes.
that's his award,
Yeah.
and that he still has the picture.
Yeah, I have when he came to speak at Lakehead University,
Right.
uh talking about that paper because he truly believed he had found the Holy Grail stone. He
Mm-hmm.
connected it to the Cree prophecy stone.
Right.
He gave me, some those pictures and, told me about his trip to the States to visit the museum where that other little small stone is that talks about, and it talked about the goddess?
Right.
Yeah,
And yeah.
it talked about a
Right.
nano on that stone. So that's connected in it. But we could get down a whole rabbit's hole here. But I want to talk about in 2019, you traveled to Thunder Bay and the Robinson Superior Treaty region as part of the research. Um, what were you hoping to understand in Thunder Bay and the region for that project? And how does Ochagach connect with Thunder Bay and the region?
Right, Kaministiquia.
Mhm.
He was really known to be visit at that area because of the waterways. That is our huge travel.
Mhm.
So it, that is central area, you know, for us to travel, information exchanging, and we did do our best to get to more research done there, but there's little information. We go to the museums, we talk to people. We're impressed that people knew, he had his own map,
Okay.
and that there's a form of algebra behind his map making,
Okay.
which Buck would explain.
Yeah.
He's so good at. And so yeah, we did end up getting some information there, but a lot of the information came from oral traditions and the people that we spoke to around there about it.
So we did put together a nice dinner, and we put the who's who at the table. But then the pandemic,
Right.
was just around the corner. So what's happened to the project right now? Like, is there any hope that it's going to be revived, or where are you at right now?
Yeah, so Buff, he got his heart surgery,
Hmm.
and so he's got another one, and we're hoping that we got him for at least another 20 years. He's
Yeah,
doing okay,
good.
you know. Yeah, he's doing okay. So we're just praying on his well health so we could keep him around for quite some time, so we could keep doing this project and all these projects that uh, focus on anomalies
Well, he's
that
such a font of knowledge. Like, you can
right.
ask that man anything. And not only is he going to tell you about what's going on now, he's going to give you the, 1,000-year history
Right.
before that
Uh-huh.
seamlessly. He will
Right.
speak to you seamlessly. And it's you I was in awe many times. I was like just wowed, as many people are, and it's well deserving for him. So when Indigenous history conflicts with what's written in textbooks, how do you approach that as a researcher and storyteller yourself?
I just pretty much omit any colonial history
Mhm.
because, like, it's just it's really superficial and nothing that's deeply grounded in spirit, right? Nothing deeply grounded in our reality of our connection to the divine,
Mhm.
you know?
Speaking about spirituality, that's what, when people are so uncomfortable with that. When people say to me, how do you do these things? How did you get where you were? And I said, well, a lot of it's hard work, but most of it is my belief in a creator and my belief in that connection to spirit. And I try to listen uh, to how I'm being guided, and then work within spiritual, within, I don't want to call them laws, but work within a spiritual context is, try be kind, um, be truthful, uh, treat people as you would like to be treated. Always think about what I'm doing in the context. Is this my mission in life? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Listen to that intuition, and help where you can. So a spirit, I think if you don't live your life connected to spirit, and I had a woman say to me that her understanding of spirit was her connection to nature. When she planted a seed, from the seed to watching it grow, and just everything that transpires from planting that seed until you're picking it, to eat it. She says that to her, that connection with Mother Earth is her spirituality, right? And so my success, my prosperity, and what I try to do in my work is share that with people. Say, no, I believe in a creator. I believe in a mother, you know, and that mother is my center. And that was part of my work in my book, Stone of the Savior, is I'm trying to bring my culture back. That's just not a male God. There's, as you were talking about, Ochagach, who would have that balance, or the people within your culture, your ancestors, of a divine feminine and masculine within them. That's what has to come back to our culture. And the first place that's got to change is in the Vatican and the Roman Catholic Church. So that's been part of my spiritual walk in the last, it was kind of hidden for 15 years until I could get it straightened out in my own mind and put on paper in a clear, concise, and well-researched document. And now I'm moving forward to, put it down in smaller chunks for people to understand that, because in one way it's difficult, but in another way it's very simple. The woman has to become the center of the home and hearth again.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
there's my speech for the day.
Yes. No, and bringing, that's I'm so grateful, for your courageous uh determination, let's get the women in the Vatican.
Mhm.
Let's get this feminine divine paradigm
Yeah,
within Christianity back out, you know?
absolutely.
All that all that stifling, of humanity, when we could be putting bright, beautiful light around each other, the beautiful light of creation, all the elements, wishing the best at each other, the
Mhm.
very best of all creation at each other, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Powerful.
in my book, I
Powerful.
wrote that if Rome decided to ordain women and that there was a popess who sat beside the Pope, that instantly women would become safer because 1.4 billion Catholic homes would now see women as equal. And that paradigm would shift the world and make it safer for women and a safer world. We need that now. We're in some troubling times.
Yeah, the three religions of Abraham, right?
Right?
Judaism, Christianity, Islam.
Right.
We all need to get rerouted, right? Rerouted. That it's been a cognitive dissonance for
Re-
man.
Rerouted is exactly the word. And it's got to be rerouted in truth, right? The truth.
Right. Right. We came out women first, and then we formed, this masculinity.
Yeah.
And then that hyper, uh identity of masculinity, it's self-destructive.
Yeah. And
We got
that's,
to get
I'm in the process of writing a companion book to Stone of the Savior because some people just felt it was just really bogged down in scholarly research. And so I'm okay with that. And, and like you say, it's got bogged down and we've got to free it up.
Yeah, I know we're getting bogged down by the weight of patriarchy, right? This mind of, we're this, we're the center of the universe. We're
Mhm.
the,
Mhm.
it's so self-destructive. And it's like we put an ego on ourselves to, like, we have to do everything, and but it's really the reverse,
And
you
we
know.
forgot about, and even in the when I did my research, the Trinity in the Roman Catholic faith is uh, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And it's really
Right.
supposed to be Father, Mother, Child. It's the Trinity of the family.
There it
And
is.
I'm always reminded when somebody, is dying and they say what it stands out as the most important thing that you may have forgot to do in your life. They said, I didn't pay enough attention to my family. My family was the most important. 9 times out of 10, they say that. And so we should believe them and put that back as the center
Right.
because the love
Absolutely.
that it's about love, right? You love
Right.
your wife, you love your child, you love your mother, you love your grandmother. It's
You
about
love the
love.
universe, our
You love
ancestors.
the earth because we are living in paradise. Come on, look at this
Right.
place.
Right.
And we haven't taken care of it very well.
Right. Because we haven't taken care of ourselves in the most basic, deepest form.
Absolutely. But I
Yeah.
want to talk about that. That was wonderful. And we could, again, go on like a long
Right.
time. But I want to talk about Bear Grease. And
Uh,
congratulations on a really successful play. So, musical. So, you're part of Bear Grease, which uses humor and music to talk about Indigenous experience. What drew you to this project? And can you tell me a little bit about the character you play, Canuckie?
yeah. So I got brought on by Georgina Lightning. She's an Indigenous producer, actor, filmmaker, and her uh, daughter, Crystal Lightning, her and her husband brought us together to start Bear Grease. They had the idea to they're a MC group, so they're kind of sick of just doing like MC rapping. So they're like, oh, let's do something different. So they
Mm-hmm.
started like a hip opera on the rendition Grease.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of indigenized. We got Bro Bryce Morin who does the hand drum, and we got some songs in Cree, and we just break out in funny skits and try to make it a big celebration, as opposed to the deep traumas that we just have to continually harp on to try to make the settler understand what they're doing here. To
I saw Bear Grease when it was in Thunder Bay. It was amazing, and then
Right.
we went out for dinner. Um, I
Thank
think
you.
it does. I think it really does. It gives uh, people, non-Indigenous people, a different perspective, right? Um, we, especially at my age, I'm in my late 60s, we weren't given that perspective. And it's hard to pass on a perspective you were never given. So by your community coming in and doing things like this, and it is amazing, uh, you will be blown away. Take some time, figure out where Bear Grease is going to be, and go see it. Um, I left going, wow, wow. That
Mhm.
was like, it was super amazing. The talent was unbelievable. You fit the character perfectly. If people didn't know you, like when I saw you in character, I was like, oh my God, that's not Rodney. Like I know you as a highly intelligent, well-spoken, you know,
Uh,
and then here you are as Canuckie, funny and kind of, you know, maybe it's sometimes the brunt of the joke.
mhm.
But anyway, congrats on that. And so how has it been received? You've even gone to New York, I hear.
Yeah, we got to go off Broadway. We had a residency just off Broadway on Restaurant Row. We're just tucked in the basement of a little church where we got invited. Someone saw us down in New Mexico when we were doing a show in Albuquerque, I believe, or
Mm-hmm.
else Santa Fe, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And George R.R. Martin came to see our show, and he's the writer of Game of Thrones, and like just a really yeah he and he
Wow.
and he brought us to an after party and just really
Wow.
praised the show, and he's like, I'll see you on Broadway.
It's well-deserved praise. And I remember it was over a year ago when you were here in Thunder Bay, and we were just at dinner talking about the possibility of that. And then it manifested. And it's not just about manifestation, it's because take the credit. It's deserved. You and the whole cast and the writers and producer. And you just stayed committed, and you just every day you just one day at a time you just stay at her and stay committed. That's what brings success. It success only ends when you give up, and you guys don't seem to be giving up, and that's amazing. Um, so you think that the humor in Bear Grease really connects with the people in the
Oh
audience?
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's the icebreaker, right?
yeah,
All the tension leaves. We could laugh at ourselves,
yeah.
and that's what it is, being super light and easy on each other, right? During very traumatic and tumultuous times.
So I was going to ask you what kind of reactions from audiences have surprised you, but if you're getting the guy who wrote the Game of Thrones, taking you to parties, I guess that's a pretty surprising reaction. Anything else that stood out to you that someone's either said to you or how it affected somebody? Is anything stood out?
Oh man, it's the elders
Mm.
and yeah, it's just really impactful when you get the elders and our people just really loving it and getting good response to it. It's good to see the unity and the love. Just
Yeah,
really
we
grateful for you.
I was just talking to Jenna and telling and letting sharing with her that I practice native spirituality and that we were talking about as non-indigenous and in our culture there isn't the respect for their seniors as there is within the indigenous culture for their not only their ancestors but their living grandmothers and grandfathers. And when you teared up there, man, I was like, you're going to choke me up because that makes me hopeful because I've spent, Jenna's not as old as I am, but I have decades of experience that I want to share with the younger women, and they don't want to hear it. They'd just rather put me out to pasture, and I've had to deal with that in and try and find, um, just try and find some forgiveness and patience that, it's the whole culture that has contributed to that, keeping younger women in competition with older women or other women. So, healing that would be wonderful too. But every time, so I do have a story for you, and it might seem a little odd, but here's the reality of our life. I live in Thunder Bay, and my business faces a street where there's lots of addiction and there's lots of human trafficking and just the side of life that you would hope that yourself or your children don't fall prey to. And when the pandemic was over, they had owned the streets for the 2 years that we were all in lockdown. And when I was able to open my business again, the city wasn't doing enough to get people to move on so that I could operate a business. And although I like to work within my community and embrace my community, all the aspects of it, there are people who just, aren't going to bring their children if somebody's smoking crack cocaine across the street. So I said to the people I had in my bazaar, I'm just going to go out and talk to everybody and say, look, I respected when you were doing business. And I know that may sound odd, but I mean, I've been locked down for 2 years. I haven't been able to make, the income that my family depends on. Can you just move along? So, and allow me from 9 to 5 to operate my business. And, the indigenous people were like, yes, ma'am. Like I have gray hair. So they instantly viewed me as an elder and said, yes, of course. And immediately. But when I went to non-indigenous people, they were not as friendly. They basically told me, I don't have to do anything you're asking me. And so then I just, clearly said to them, well, if you're not going to listen to me, I guess I'll have to call somebody else. But I wanted to
Right.
just have a respectful conversation. But even in your culture with people who may not be living their best lives, they still respect their elders
Mm-hmm.
because it's ingrained in them and it's taught. And that's what we have to teach our children. And thank you. Thank you to you. You started by thanking me for what I'm doing within the community. Thank you and your community for how you've affected me and other people in my culture to see what it is that we could change
Right.
to be able to live in balance.
Right. I look forward to seeing you again, Lori, in person.
This is good though. We couldn't have done this, years and years ago. So we're gonna get to the end of here. This is the last part. How do you see your role now as a artist, researcher, advocate, teacher? Do you see yourself as something else?
Oh yeah, no, educator, researcher. Just keep on doing work with Buff here.
Yeah.
and be re-enrolling into my master's program
Oh,
with a couple
wow.
letters. Yeah, yeah. So get to finishing my master's,
Wonderful.
uh, and then yeah, just uh, keep rolling along with our natural law and our treaty law. We have our Treaty 1 to 11 gatherings quite often in
Mm-hmm.
the prairie provinces.
Mm-hmm.
So those are really vital and important to our people in educating, the broader society of our colonial and pre-colonial past and what it means to have these relations on these lands.
So, do you have any projects planned with your family or within your community of Frog Lake coming up?
Yeah. Oh man, Frog Lake's got so many ventures on the go here.
And your
Yeah, we
mom and
do.
mom and dad are really involved also, right?
Yep. Uh, this is my mom and dad's place right
Oh,
here.
you're at hi.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not here right now, or else
That's
they'd be
okay.
all
Well,
up in
make
the
sure you
basement
say
trying to
you
say
let them know
hi.
I said hi. Yeah. I
Definitely,
follow your
definitely.
mom on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, I seen that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they both really they my dad always talks about you and my mom's like, "Oh, so sweet." And yeah, this would
I,
lo can't
I'm
wait to meet
telling
you.
you, if you invited me, I'd come.
Oh, you're invited anytime,
Oh,
Laurie.
that's so sweet.
Yeah, and my sister Andrea, she just lives south of Calgary with
Well, I
five
have to
kids.
come soon because I have to visit my daughter out
Right,
west who lives in Calgary. Because
right,
before I move to the East Coast, which is this fall, that's a really long way. So maybe I
right.
can make a pit stop and a quick visit and come see Buff, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please, please,
So
please. We're waiting for you.
what do you so we I interjected there. So
Yeah.
what's going on in Frog Lake? Tell me one really cool project other
Okay.
than building your house.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. We got municipal infrastructure award for the new water plant that we're making.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the first of its kind in our area where we dug down into an aquifer below our lake,
Mm,
which is really pure water,
mhm.
and we're making a multi-million dollar huge water plant where we're gonna have clean water for our community. And
Beautiful.
yeah, and uh, it's just gonna we got uh, so much going on. We got a cement plant.
Hmm.
We got a wraparound. There's so much going on there. We're actually finally we're finally looking like a town.
So you're
We
just
got street
looking
lights. We got
streetlights.
Yeah, we got street lights, and we actually got our own show home where
Oh,
we have
wow.
we're building. We got a hemp plant here, actually, right in Elk Point, that's partnered with Frog Lake. So we grow hemp on our reserve, and then we come and process it here, and we make wooden panels, cement blocks. So we're doing the best we can to make a prosperous community, interconnectedly self-sufficient.
It's
Where
amazing.
where we don't have to depend on global powers to tell us how to run our communities.
Beautiful. I'm very proud of you. It's
I'm proud of you, Lori. I
oh
love
my
you so much.
goodness.
So grateful for you.
Oh, me too. This could become a little love fest right now. So, but we're going to
Well,
close.
yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to add that we haven't covered? Something that you would like to say to our viewers? Um, and at the end, just let everybody know where Bear Grease is performing next and where they can get tickets. But first, let's start with, do you got anything that you'd, like to say to our viewers?
Yes, definitely to the new generation of young masculine. Don't be afraid to, let the woman lead. Don't be afraid to love yourself.
Mhm.
Be kind to yourself, you know. Nourish that relationship, with the ancestors. What were your most ancient ancestors singing their most ancient laws of love, light, and tradition? Nourish that fire of love for all creation, you know. Just do that, young men. and women who, don't have enough of that for themselves, get back to that love for the sun, it's constantly nourishing us, the air, the water. Get back to that sacred relationship.
Just put your face in the sun and let her in.
Yes. Pray with the water. I love you, water. Thank you, water, for nourishing my body, my beautiful body that continues to thrive. And yeah, Bear Grease is going to be back on the road here. We're going to, I think we got a showdown in Red Deer. And then, yeah, our schedules, we're booked right up until right through 2026. And as long as the people show up, then Bear Grease will continue to go.
So that's in Canada and the USA for 2026?
Yeah, yeah. We got a couple gigs down in the States so far, as long as ICE
Yes.
doesn't come and get us.
Yeah, I would caution you, just yeah. Oh, be
All right,
careful. So what
right.
is the website where people can find out where Bear Grease is going to be?
Yeah, Bear Grease Live.
Bear Grease Live.
Yeah,
Bear
Bear
Grease
Grease
Live
Live.
dot what? Or
Oh, I
just
think yeah, beargreaselive.com.
beargreaselive.com. We're going to put it down below for people. Anyway, Rodney, thank you so much for joining me. It's wonderful to see you. We'll see you again soon. Say hi to everybody. And thank you for viewing, coming in today to watch the interview with Rodney and I. My name is Lori Paris, and welcome to She Life.